Your spouse is in danger. A woman doing a black magic. This is serious, my beloved child, stop. Take a breath. This message is not random, and it is not late. Something hidden is being uncovered right now, and your soul was guided here for a reason you may not yet fully understand. As I speak, the universe is leaning closer to you. There is a quiet warning moving through the spiritual realm, not to frighten you, but to awaken you. You didn't click this by chance. This is timing. This is alignment. This is one of those rare moments when the veil thins and a truth rises gently but firmly to the surface. There is a presence around your life that has been unseen, unspoken, and deeply subtle. The divine wants you to hear this with calm awareness, not fear. A message has been waiting for the right moment, and that moment is now. Listen with your heart, because this revelation is meant to protect, not panic you. Your spouse is in danger. A woman doing a black magic. This is serious. These words may feel heavy, but understand this. The universe never reveals something without also offering light, guidance, and protection. What is being shown is not meant to weaken you. It is meant to strengthen your awareness. There are spiritual forces that work quietly, some to uplift, some to confuse, but divine truth always rises above them, if you felt unexplained emotional shifts. Distance, heaviness, or strange resistance in your connection, it's not because love is fading. It's because something hidden has been influencing the energy around you. The divine is asking you to pause, observe, and reconnect spiritually. Not with fear, but with faith. You are being reminded of your role as a guardian of your bond. Love that is chosen by destiny is always tested before it is elevated. And the fact that this message has found you means protection is already active. The universe does not abandon those it warns. This is a moment to pray, to ground yourself, to call clarity back into your home and heart. Speak light over your relationship. Trust your intuition. Divine timing is unfolding. And what was meant to stay unseen has now been revealed gently, before it could grow stronger. Most importantly, know this: nothing revealed by the divine comes without a path forward. There is hope here. There is clarity here. There is purpose in this message reaching you now. You are not alone, and your love is not unprotected. Stay with this message. Watch this complete video, because what comes next brings understanding, peace, and the steps your soul has been asking for. If this resonated with you, like this video, share it with someone who may need this revelation, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next divine message meant for you. I also want to pass on a time-sensitive message from the moon to you. And you need to hear it today. A subtle yet powerful energy will push you to make a critical decision by the end of the week. You won't find the answer in your horoscope, so don't bother looking there. Click the link in the description to see your free personalized video moon reading. I was amazed at how accurate my reading was, and I know you will feel the same. Hear me. I speak now not to frighten you, but because silence would cost more than truth. I am the God who watches in stillness and moves in whispers, and today I lean close to your spirit. What you feel stirring in your heart is not imagination. It is discernment awakening. There is a subtle disturbance around your home, not of flesh and blood, but of intention, desire, and influence. These forces do not strike loudly. They move quietly, patiently, like mist that enters a room before anyone notices the air has changed. Your spouse is not in danger of the body, but of alignment. And alignment is sacred to me. There is a woman whose thoughts are not pure toward what I have joined. She may not know my name, but she knows how to focus desire, how to project longing, how to pull attention where it does not belong. She is not powerful because of rituals or words, she is powerful because unchecked intention, when fed by emotion, becomes a current. And currents, when ignored, can pull even strong swimmers off course. Do not misunderstand me. This is not about fear. Fear is not from me. This is about awareness. I see the late-night thoughts that linger longer than they should. I see conversations that feel harmless but slowly grow roots. I see admiration turning into attachment, curiosity turning into emotional proximity. Nothing has happened, you say, and yet something has already begun. That is why I speak now. Not too late. Not too early. Exactly on time. You have asked me for signs, and I answer not with noise, but with clarity. There is no curse placed upon your marriage. There is no dark force greater than my light. What exists is a door slightly open, an invitation created not by intention, but by neglect. And understand this, what enters through neglect feels gentle at first. It disguises itself as coincidence, as comfort, as harmless connection. But over time, it seeks more space. Always more space. Your spouse's heart is not evil. It is human. And the human heart, when tired, when unseen, when quietly yearning for affirmation, can drift without realizing it has left the shore. This is why I speak to you, not to accuse, not to shame, but to awaken the guardian within you. I have placed wisdom in your spirit. You have felt it already, in moments of unexplained heaviness, in dreams that leave questions behind, in sudden urges to pray when nothing seemed wrong. Those were not random. That was me knocking gently, waiting for you to listen, do not confront in anger. Anger closes ears. Do not accuse without certainty. Accusation builds walls. Instead, bring light. Light does not fight darkness, it reveals it. Where light is present, shadows lose purpose. Strengthen what you already have. Speak words of affirmation before someone else does. Create intimacy before distraction offers imitation. Guard your union not with suspicion, but with presence. When love is actively lived, interference finds no place to stand, and to the woman whose thoughts wander toward what is not hers, hear me as well. I do not condemn you. I see the emptiness you try to fill, the longing that seeks reflection in another's mirror. But what you seek cannot be taken. What is taken will never satisfy. Turn back. Redirect your focus. There is a path prepared for you that does not require crossing sacred boundaries. I am not a god of panic. I am a god of order. Nothing is ruined. Nothing is lost. But everything is being tested, not to destroy it, but to reveal its strength. Tests come quietly. Victories come quietly too. Be still. Observe. Strengthen your bond. Invite me into conversations, into silence, into moments where you once assumed I was unnecessary. I protect what is consciously placed in my care. This message is not an ending. It is an interruption, one meant to shift a timeline. Because had I remained silent, the pull would have grown stronger, the emotional thread tighter, the confusion deeper. But now, awareness has entered the room. And awareness changes everything. I am with you. And there is more you must understand, about why this season is happening now, about what your marriage is meant to become, and about the choice that stands just ahead, unseen but approaching, waiting for you to recognize it when the moment arrives, because what happens next will depend not on fear, but on how you respond when the subtle becomes visible, and whether you choose to act from love, wisdom, and trust as I continue to reveal what has not yet been fully shown, for this message is not yet complete. And I will speak again when you are ready to hear what follows. I continue now, because you have stayed present, and presence is the permission I wait for. Listen carefully, for what I reveal is layered, and each layer is meant to be understood not only by the mind, but by the spirit within you that recognizes truth before words explain it. The danger I spoke of does not announce itself with chaos. It wears familiarity. It borrows faces you trust. It hides inside routines until routine itself becomes the veil. This is why many miss it, not because they are foolish, but because they are comfortable. Comfort, when unguarded, can become the softest doorway. Your home carries history. Laughter has lived there, Tears have passed through its walls. Promises were spoken there, some aloud, some silently before me. Every promise creates a spiritual architecture, an unseen structure that holds two lives together even when emotions fluctuate. But structures must be maintained. Not repaired only when cracked, maintained daily through intention, attention, and reverence. I see where fatigue has settled. I see where words have shortened, where listening has thinned, where assumptions have replaced curiosity. None of this makes you guilty. It makes you human. Yet understand this, when emotional nourishment is delayed, something else will attempt to feed the hunger. It may look harmless. It may feel validating. It may arrive as understanding without accountability. That is how imbalance introduces itself. The woman I revealed to you does not wake each day planning harm. She is not cloaked in darkness the way stories dramatize. She is driven by lack. Lack of recognition. Lack of fulfillment. Lack of alignment with her own purpose. And lack, when left unattended, reaches outward. It borrows energy. It leans where it should not lean. This is not to villainize her, but to clarify the nature of what surrounds your marriage. I do not ask you to monitor. I ask you to anchor. Anchors do not chase drifting ships. They hold firm so the tide cannot carry them away. Your role in this season is not reaction. It is embodiment. Become again what first made your union sacred: presence, warmth, truth spoken without armor, affection offered without condition. These are not small acts. These are spiritual reinforcements. When love is practiced deliberately, interference loses momentum. When intimacy is cultivated intentionally, illusion dissolves. You have wondered why prayer has felt different lately. Why words seem to return to you instead of rising. Why silence felt louder than sound. This was not distance between us. This was preparation. Silence sharpens hearing. Stillness trains awareness. I was steadying you so that when this moment arrived, you would recognize it not as panic, but as instruction. Do not underestimate how quickly alignment can be restored. What takes time to drift can be corrected in a moment of clarity. But clarity requires courage. Courage to speak gently when suspicion urges sharpness. Courage to ask instead of assume. Courage to open conversations that feel inconvenient. Light enters through honesty, not confrontation. There will be moments ahead where you feel tempted to test, to search, to confirm. Pause there. Acting from anxiety multiplies uncertainty. Acting from wisdom dissolves it. I am not asking you to ignore your intuition. I am asking you to partner it with patience. Watch patterns, not moments. Energy reveals itself over time, your spouse. 2. Is standing at a quiet intersection. They may not even recognize it as such. Choices that seem insignificant are aligning into direction. A message replied to too quickly. A thought indulged instead of released. A comparison entertained instead of dismissed. None of these are crimes. But direction is rarely changed by dramatic turns. It is shaped by repeated small permissions. This is where you come in, not as a judge, but as a reminder. Remind them of who they are when they are most themselves. Reflect back the version of them that feels whole, not the version that seeks escape. Speak life into them. See them. Draw them closer not with control, but with connection. I am not absent from this. I walk the space between you even when you forget I am there. I hear what is said and what is withheld. I know what is feared and what is hoped for but never voiced. Trust that nothing escapes my awareness, not to punish, but to protect, and know this, nothing external can override what is internally guarded. No influence has authority where intention is clear. No attraction survives where commitment is alive. Commitment is not merely staying. It is choosing, again and again, to invest where you have already planted. You may ask why this warning came now. Why not earlier? Why not later? Because timing matters. Too early, and it would be dismissed. Too late, and repair would require pain. Now is the moment where choice still feels light. Where adjustment can be made without consequence. Where awareness is enough. Do not speak of this message to everyone. Sacred instructions are not for public debate. Hold it carefully. Let it guide your actions quietly. You do not need to announce discernment for it to be effective. Heaven moves most powerfully through subtle obedience. There is also something deeper unfolding, something beyond this immediate concern. Your marriage is entering a phase where it is meant to model stability, not only for yourselves, but for others who observe you without admitting it. Strength attracts attention. Consistency invites imitation. This is why pressure often increases before expansion. What is built to shelter others is always tested first. You are not being targeted. You are being refined. And refinement always feels uncomfortable before it feels strengthening. I know you worry about what you cannot see. About conversations you are not part of. About emotions that might be forming in silence. Remember this: what is hidden from you is not hidden from me. And what is not meant to grow will wither when exposed to truth. Trust that truth does not need force. It only needs space. Create that space. In the coming days, you may notice shifts, subtle changes in tone, in attention, in energy. Do not panic if they feel uneven. Adjustments take time to settle. Stay grounded. Stay open. Stay anchored in love, not fear. Fear accelerates what it tries to prevent. Love stabilizes what fear disturbs. You are not alone in guarding this union. I stand watch with you. I always have. Even when you forgot to invite me, I remained. Even when you questioned whether I cared, I was already arranging clarity. This message is not meant to end with resolution yet. Resolution comes through lived response, not spoken revelation. There is still something you have not noticed, something small, easily overlooked, but significant in meaning. When you recognize it, this entire message will shift from warning to confirmation. Until then, remain attentive. Remain gentle. Remain courageous. I will speak again, and when I do, it will be to reveal what this moment was preparing you for, what role you are meant to step into next, and why what seemed like a threat was actually an invitation that is still unfolding, still forming, still waiting for you to move in alignment with what you now know, because the next part cannot be spoken until you have walked through the understanding already given. And that understanding is still settling, still breathing, still alive. Within you as this message continues and does not yet close, I speak again, and this time I will bring the message to its completion, not with fear, not with threat, but with understanding, because understanding is what turns warnings into wisdom and tension into peace. What you sensed as danger was never meant to paralyze you. It was meant to awaken stewardship. There is a difference. Danger alarms the mind, stewardship engages the soul. You are not standing on the edge of loss, you are standing at the threshold of maturity. And maturity always asks more of you than comfort ever did. Now hear this clearly, and let it settle deep. Nothing has authority over your marriage except what you allow to remain unattended. Influence cannot root where intention is guarded. Desire cannot grow where clarity is chosen. Confusion cannot thrive where truth is spoken gently and consistently. You were never powerless in this situation. You were simply being invited to see. The season you are in is one where subtle choices matter more than dramatic gestures. Grand declarations will not strengthen what is being tested. Daily presence will. Listening without distraction. Touch without agenda. Words that affirm identity rather than merely describe behavior. These are the quiet acts that fortify what vows alone cannot maintain. Your spouse is not your adversary. Nor are they weak. They are human, standing in a world that constantly competes for attention, affirmation, and emotional energy. When the soul is tired, it reaches instinctively for what feels easy. That is not betrayal, it is exhaustion seeking relief. And exhaustion is healed not through accusation, but through rest, rest that is created relationally. Become that place of rest again. You do not need to recreate the past. You are meant to deepen the present. The love you share now is not meant to look like the love you began with. It is meant to be wiser, steadier, more rooted. Early love is fueled by discovery. Enduring love is fueled by choice. Choose again, consciously, deliberately, without resentment for what has shifted, and to address what weighed so heavily on your heart. The influence around your spouse loses power the moment it is no longer fed. Attention is nourishment. Emotional secrecy is shelter. When transparency returns, influence fades. You do not need to expose, confront, or name what you fear. You only need to strengthen what you know is true. This is how spiritual balance is restored, not by fighting shadows, but by increasing light. I know you wondered whether this message meant catastrophe. It does not. It means opportunity. It means you were trusted with awareness before damage occurred. That is not punishment. That is favor. Many walk blindly into distance before realizing they have drifted. You were stopped while still within reach. Do not replay this message in anxiety. Let it inform action, not imagination. Obsession weakens discernment. Calm sharpens it. If you feel tempted to overanalyze, return to presence. Presence is where truth stabilizes. And now hear what was hidden beneath everything I have said. Your marriage is not fragile. It is becoming intentional. Intentional relationships require pruning. Pruning feels uncomfortable, but it preserves life. What is removed was never meant to sustain the future anyway. This moment was not sent to scare you into control, but to invite you into leadership, leadership of tone, of energy, of emotional climate. Lead with love that listens. Led with boundaries that are quiet but firm. Led with trust that is active, not passive. You asked for protection, and protection was given, not in the form of walls, but in the form of wisdom. Walls isolate. Wisdom connects while guarding. There is peace ahead of you, not the fragile peace that depends on constant reassurance, but the grounded peace that comes from alignment. Alignment between your actions and your values. Between your words and your intentions. Between your love and your awareness. Do not fear the woman who stood at the edge of this story. She was never the center of it. She was a signal, not a sentence. A mirror reflecting where attention had thinned, not a force strong enough to take what was never offered, and do not fear the future. The future is not approaching you blindly. It is responding to how you move now. Walk forward with calm. Speak with honesty, love with intention. Trust with discernment. I remain with you, not only in moments of warning, but in moments of laughter, reconciliation, and quiet connection that feel ordinary but are holy. I am present in shared meals, in late conversations, in the pauses between words where understanding finally lands. This message ends not because the work is finished, but because the instruction has been given. Go now, not in fear, but in clarity. Not in suspicion, but in strength. Not in silence, but in thoughtful presence. What was at risk has been revealed. What matters most has been protected. What comes next is built, not by fate, not by fear, but by the choices you now make with open eyes and a steady heart, and in that, you are not alone. Amen.